What's going on, guys? Figured I'd make a video on giving you guys a little bit of a tour of the place. And I know watching other people's channels, they like Harvey Spooner. I didn't have like a good perspective of things like his area until I was actually there. I actually kind of had things kind of mixed around. But I figured I'd come up to the furthest point of my property, kind of give you an idea of what kind of space is mine and the neighbors and such like that. Pretty much, I go down to about, I don't know, 20 foot or so in front of that big maple tree, and pretty much what you see mowed here, and then it goes down behind the garage and runs down. Runs down, down where you see those bushes and stuff down in there. And then we got the playhouse right there, and my garage, and then the storage building. When I first got this property, there was a trailer, this is half of it. It used to go pretty much where you see the grass worn. The grass never actually grew right there, and since I have the traffic going in and out of the garage, it definitely doesn't have a chance of growing. But anyway, I took half the trailer and tore it down. It was in pretty bad shape. And I put, metal on the outside of it. And I did have two big doors on here, and they started going bad. And somebody gave me these steel doors put in there. I'd show you around in there, but there's really nothing in there. Just some of my wife's furniture and stuff that actually needs to go back in there. I got one of the Harvey bikes sitting there. Alright, so inside the garage, we got the main bay here. We got my cousin's stereo and my computer, and so pretty much the speakers are his, the receiver, and the other components here, I think, belong to my uncle. And then we got a spot here for LT. It's in the back part of the garage, and all the extra parts for it. I guess on this video I'm gonna confess to what I plan on doing with the Harvey bikes. And I don't think I'm gonna put anything together out of it. I got a number of reasons why the engine that I was gonna put in it is just not gonna work unless I cut the frame all up. And I actually was able to save one of the shocks, which you see here. And I tore it all apart and cleaned it up. Actually, the shock is from one of the bikes, and then the spring is from the other. This spring here, I did not paint it. This is the stock paint that was on that 1985 shock. But the shock that this spring was on was junk, so I got a portion of the two. But I actually had to cut the swing arm apart to get this bolt out because it was seized to the sleeve. So I completely destroyed that arm. I got a whole rear end out of the other. It's the same rear end that's in the bike that I could use. I just got to change the sprocket out, and it'll go right in and I can use it. Kind of looking at, I got these extra plastics here, extra gas tank, and there's a number of other things that I can use on this bike. But with the extra, I got an extra engine over there. That's the same as the engine I have on it. So this bike could go for years and years and years with those parts I got from Harvey, and I thank you a lot for them. But I'm sorry that I'm not going to put anything together with them. Pretty much, if I was to put something together with them, then if something happened to this, the parts are so hard to find and pricey because they're so rare that those parts will really come in handy later on down the road. Over here we got Brute. That's the Chinese bike, and it is a 250, and I have its parts on the wall. And I actually have a lot of extra body parts underneath the building. And then over here would be Glenn's extra parts. Just pretty much parts I wouldn't want to put on something nice, but they're usable. Both those swing arms have good bearings in, and the parts for it. And then my two piece of crap lawn tractors. I'm hoping to get a new one come this spring. And I got the engine I'm going to put in my terrain. And then we got the back corner room. We got 300EX parts down below, and that's a Chinese engine there, but all 300EX parts right here, 300EX engine, and pretty much this half the bench is 300EX stuff. Over here is Chinese parts, and I think down below here I got a pile of crap, wiring pieces, a box of shocks, and that Chinese CB250 that blew up in pieces. I've actually been kind of handy, some bolts and those little pins that goes in between the cases and stuff. I've been scavenging off of that. And then here we have the future 300EX build, and then over here is Pinky. I actually think I'm going to name this bike Duke, which is after a dog my dad had when I was a kid, and my grandpa had a dog that was the father of the dog that my dad had, and he was named Duke as well. So I think I'm going to name this one Duke. And then the front room, we got all the parts of a Cavalier that I'm working on this kind of makeshift bench, and my speakers that's currently taking a rest. We got the solar setup in here as well. And then over here we got microwave and tools that goes all the way around. A lot of these drawers are empty. I don't have enough tools to fill them. I actually think I want to try to get the sockets and stuff, heavy stuff in these drawers, because they are ball bearing drawers. Right now I have pretty heavy stuff in this Harbor Freight box, and it's kind of hard to move the drawers. There's all the metric sockets. Chemicals, and I also have, actually the chemicals are actually supposed to be in these drawers, but they're not. You should keep your chemicals like that in a steel cabinet, and that was going to be the steel cabinet for those. And we got this bucket here is just miscellaneous steel pieces. Whenever I go to fab something up and it's small, just little pieces of steel, different shapes, whatever. Funny looking washers or odds and ends of stuff. One of my buckets of hardware, and then this cabinet here is full of hardware. And inside these cups, it'll be, I think it's 8mm threaded bolts with like a 10 to 8mm head, kind of thing. Just threaded, just threaded bolts. This has a flat top on them. All kinds of hardware like that in there. But I guess that's be a tour, I suppose. And there's the Cavalier that I've been working on. But I guess I'll catch you guys later.